What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the project panel. We're going to explore all the different features and all the different options inside that panel and why it's so important. Now let's get started. Now, if you enjoy these videos and you want to see more like it, please subscribe to the channel for future videos. Now let's head over to the left. You'll see the project panel is highlighted in blue. You can also do that if you just click on any panel. We'll click here on the project panel. And it's usually kind of smaller on the layout because after you import all the footage, you're then working here in the timeline mostly. But you can also expand this and adjust it. So you can grab it here by the wall and obviously pull it more open if you like that. Or another thing that I like to do a lot, and this applies to every window, is as long as it's highlighted blue, hit the tilde key, which is underneath the escape key, and it blows it up to full size. Just keep hitting it, you can toggle back and forth. But for this video's purpose, I'm just gonna leave it here because that's what most people see. So first, I'm gonna talk about importing and organizing and keeping a structured, organized workflow, which will help you tremendously down the road. And then after we go over that, I'll kind of go over all these different buttons and features and let you know what each of them do. So let's start with importing footage in here. And you can see here in the panel, I have a few items already of media. You can also tell up here by the type of media, by the icon. So this is just a wavelength you can see. So that's proving that it's just a song or music audio only. Come down here, you're gonna see the icon that has kind of the film strip in purple plus the audio form, which just means it's a video with audio. And they come down here, this is just a video by itself, so there's no audio attached. And then down here, this icon is a JPEG, it's a photo. So basically right off the bat, if you hover over them, it tells you information about each item. It's like this, for example, it's a movie, obviously, and it's 4K. You can see the settings there, the 3840 by 2160. And it also says the 29 frames per second and so on. And the best way to import media inside the project panel, you can either right mouse click, go to import. You can also just double click inside. It'll take you to a window and then you can search for which footage you want. You can head up here to the top under file, go down to import. You can just click it that way, or you can do the keyboard shortcut Command I. I'll click back on here. To be honest, a lot of times I just either double click, pull it up, drag it in that way. But whatever works for you, that's the best thing. So now I want to create bins. So I'm gonna come down here to this little folder here, which a bin essentially is just the Premiere Pro's word for a folder. So we're gonna do new bin. I'm gonna title it photos. So let's just say I have a ton of photos in here I'm gonna add in there, but you can just literally drag and drop because now you can see it's above and it has the drop down menu and that's showing you what's inside of the bin of photos is a photo. I'll close that back up. I'll come back down here again and click on new bin and I'm gonna make this music. Click on there, so now I have the music folder here. It's not in there yet, but if I grab the music, come and drop it down there. Now it's in the drop down menu as you can see to the left. I'm gonna do it one more time and I'm gonna do videos. And you can grab individually, grab each one if you want, or you can just click, hold down shift and click the last one and grab the entire bundle and take it down into the video section, drop it off there, and you'll see it's in there. Another thing to point out too, you'll notice here on the left, they're color coordinated based on a type. So this is a video with sound, that's the blue. The video by itself is the purple. You'll go up to music, it'll be aqua, and photos will be kind of a pinkish. Now mind you, you can also change those colors if you have a different setup and organization you like. So if you have, for example, just interview footage, obviously it's a video with sound, but if you want to be specifically, you can highlight all of those interviews and make them a specific color. And all you have to do is just right mouse click on that, and then come down to where it says label, and you can pick whichever color you want. Close that up. So now I have the bin of videos. Let's just say you want to have a bin inside of that same bin. So let's say I'm going to create another bin for B-roll. So I have this roll for all my B-roll footage. You can take the folder itself and put it inside the videos. So then when you click the drop-down menu, you can scroll down and then there's also a roll inside of that, which is the B-roll. And it's separate than this. You can see it's to the right a little bit, which means it's included in this batch. Then if I toggle the arrow back up, it's obviously gone. So those are basic ways that you can use bins to organize. I highly suggest having a good organization structure from the beginning, because once you start importing tons of interviews and footage and B-roll and music and all these different sound effects, it's gonna get messy and it's really hard to organize if everything's loose in the wild like that. I would highly suggest maybe even creating a bin structure before you input the footage at all so you can put them in correctly as you go. So I'm gonna start with the top. There's a bunch of different items listed up here. Now, if it's a larger window and you have a bigger screen, everything's displayed. Say you have a smaller screen, you can see it cuts them off. It doesn't mean they're not there. You just have to click this arrow and it gives you the drop down. You can finish all the different items that are in there. Now let's head down here to the bottom. You're gonna see it's highlighted blue, the list view, because this is in the list view, but the very next one is the icon view, so it shows them in picture form. So let's double click inside this video. You can see the video is loose in here. And you can also hover over the item and move along to kind of look for the section that you want to import into your project. You can also hover over the name and it'll give you the same information that we saw when it was in list view. Now you can move these around in different order. If you grab this, you can say shuffle it over here. Now once you grab a video, you can move it over. You can see this little bar move around that's letting you know where it's gonna be placed. So this is saying it's gonna be placed in this first slot. I'm gonna unclick the mouse. You see it placed it there and then move what was here before, just moved it over to the right. And if you want something a little more free, you come down here to freeform view. If you click on that, you can physically just move them loosely on the board like a storyboard in any order or structure or combination you want. But I'm gonna go back, and then there's the slider here. Obviously, you can make them larger or smaller. Same thing if it's in list view, you pull it up and it becomes easier to see or smaller. I'm gonna click back on icon view. So come down here, the big icon, which is the new bin, which we've already covered. This little section is a group of different things. It says new item, but once you click on it, it's gonna show you a list of different items. Sequence is obviously another big one. And you can also do adjustment layers, you can do color mats, all these different things. But let's start a new sequence. There's sequence presets. So depending on which camera you have or what setting you have, you can just click a pre-selected sequence already. So let's just say the high def 1080p by 24 frames a second. I can come down here and just name it what I want. Let's just call this sequence, new movie, just for simplicity. And then you click OK and it'll start a new sequence. Also, if you want to come over to settings and say you want to do something different. So I still have my 24 frames a second, but let's just say we want the sequence to be 4K because most of my footage here is 4K. So we'll do the 3840 by 2160. And then it's already named here, new movie, clicked OK. So now it's started a new sequence here based on those specific things that I just applied. Now this is the sequence here, that's the editing sequence. So once we grab a video, so I'll show you here. So this is already 3840 by 2160, so that's 4K, but you'll notice this is 29 frames per second, which is different than the 24. So if I drag and drop this over here in the sequence and let go, it's gonna ask me because it doesn't match the frame rate. So it's saying this clip does not match the sequence settings, which we just created. Do you wanna change to match the clip settings? Meaning, do you wanna change the sequence to match the clip? And the answer is no, I want the clip to match that. So you can say keep existing settings. So now it changes that 29 frames per second and keeps it at the 24 that's inside my sequence. So that is the basic overview of the project panel. It's where you can organize and store all of your media, where you can start new sequences and start editing your project. But once again, I'm going to reiterate, organization from the beginning will help you tremendously down the road. If you can be organized from the jump, your editing process will be so much easier and less stressful. Anyway, that is a basic overview of the project panel. And if you want to see more editing videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. That being said, have a great day. Later.